Hello and welcome to Run It Back on the Raptors Republic Network. It's been another week of crazy playoff action. We'll be recapping some more players' performances this week. Specifically, we're doing Ochai and Boucher. But first off, Coty, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How about those Maple Leafs, man? How about those Toronto Maple Leafs carrying Toronto sports on their back, which in most years wouldn't be a good thing, but hey, take game one and round two against the Florida Panthers. It's I don't want to jinx anything, but it's looking up for them, so I had to throw on the Maple Leafs hat again.
Bro, it was crazy. They were cooking last night. I saw they went up. We almost choked, but we pulled out the dub. We're winning the chip this year, man. What can I say? Let me knock on wood so I don't jinx it. But overall, it's just a good time to be a Maple Leafs fan right now. The city's bumping. Hopefully, we continue the success. But it was good to see. And some Raptors were there. I saw you took a photo. Some Raptors were at the game.
Yes. I believe I could pull it up. I believe it was Emmanuel Quickly, all the rookies for the most part. Jacoby, Jamal, Jonathan, AJ Lawson was there, Jared Rode was there, and I believe Garrett Temple was there. So it was I was able to snap a photo of them. So yeah, they were all enjoying it. I guess I don't know if they've been in Toronto or they came back specifically for the game and to chill out, but regardless, it's nice to see all of them hanging out together and taking in some hockey.
Yeah, I was about to say it's great to get that team chemistry up, but without further ado, we can jump into the player recaps here. And I know people are wondering where Zolfi's at. Don't worry, Zolfi's grinding away at Sportsnet. I didn't want to be like, don't worry, next week, guys, we'll be back together. Hopefully, we are next week. Zolfi, he's a busy dude, so we want to see him next week as we talk, more CBL as the season's approaching. But getting into the recaps, we're going to start off with Ochai here. So I'll throw it to you, Coty. What did you think of his season? Pros, cons, the usual.
Yeah, it was a good year for Ochai Agbaji. I think coming into the season, there was a question about what's his future with Toronto, and because he didn't necessarily play really good once the Raptors acquired him, but I don't know if I've ever seen a 3-point percentage jump like he had this season. He went from specifically with the Raptors, he shot 21.7% in 27 games last season with Toronto to all the way up to basically 40%, 39.9. That's ridiculous. That's crazy stuff. And credit to the coaching staff for allowing that to happen. Credit to Ochai for putting in the work, because that was a career high for him so far. And just him being able to shoot has opened up so many things for his game. And if he's able, if this is real, like this is an outlier season, you know what I mean? So there's I don't think you can really tell if this is going to continue. I would hopefully it would. It's trending like it is. Hopefully he's made the necessary improvements, but I mean, for right now, it's an encouraging sign because he's coming into a contract year here.
No, definitely. Like, just taking a look at his stats, he went from 2.6 3-point attempts last year to 4, and he went from 21% to 40%. So that's an insane jump. And I remember people were clowning S at the beginning of last season, or when he posted, like, Ochai's working on his shots. He's looking to get a little bit more developed. He had that video in the training area, and he turned into something complete. We didn't even know this was coming. One of the best corner 3-point shooters in the league. Every time they pass it into the corner, I was like, money. This guy's making it every time. And his skill set is what can help this team win going forward. So I hope the Raptors plan on giving him the money. I feel like they would. I don't know why they wouldn't overall, because something of that much of a 3-point jump, that much improvement, even his middies, he went from 49% last season to 58%. So overall, he just had growth, and growing with this team, being a corner shooter, being a reliable defender. It's been great. I'm just hoping we give him his money.
Yeah. I'm looking at the numbers here. I thought he took way more corner threes than above the break threes, and he took a decent amount, but it was closer than I thought. So yeah, he was 59 of 144 on corner threes, which was 41%, which is a great mark. And then he actually took 109 above the break threes and was 38% from above the break, which kind of shocked me. You picture Ochai Agbaji this season, and he's stapled to the corner, hands ready to shoot, and he knocks it down. So He was getting it done from above the break as well, and he filled his role. I'd mentioned it before. There are so many on-ball guys on this Toronto
Mhm.
Raptors team, especially throwing Brandon Ingram in the mix,
Yeah.
that this team needs some off-ball guys.
Mhm.
Needs some off-ball guys, and they need the 3-and-D. And Ochai Agbaji, now that the three-pointer's there, hopefully it stays and maintains, and this doesn't just become an outlier season. The defense needs to fully come around. I think they have tried him at point of attack, hasn't necessarily gone well. I think he just needs to be more consistent defender on that end.
Mhm.
He's got the strength. Maybe he's a bit small to be, you know, really, really good. But regardless, they need this archetype, and he fits the mold. It's just there's a lot of competition um, uh, in that spot. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Especially when they're
Yeah.
drafting Grady Dick, Jacoby Walter, Jamal Shed. They're drafting all these guards. Jameson Battle. I mean, Jameson Battle probably shoots a three better, and I don't think he's that far off defensively. You talk to Jameson Battle, and he's been grinding on the
Yeah.
defensive end. So I mean, there's lots of competition for Ochai here, and he needs to prove this next season that he's worth getting that next contract.
Yeah, exactly. Like everybody has a role to fill, and Ochai is probably his type of archetype is one of the more important ones I would say on the team. That 3-and-D guy, especially if he can improve his defense. And again, we have Brandon Ingram, we have RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, Scotty Barnes, and we're adding those four need the ball in their hands to kind of help run this team. And with someone like Ochai, he's got to fill that role of, can I be a catch and shoot player? Can I be more reliable? Can I hit these shots more consistently? If the defense can get better, that opens up more of a space for on his team, because then again, like you said, we're going to be looking at other people like Grady Dick, like a Jameson Battle, like a Jacoby Walter. So he's going to be competing a lot. So if he wants to secure that money, secure a spot on the team, especially now that we're kind of gunning for, let's make the playoffs, let's make the play in, he's going to have to step up, and really the pressure is going to be on a little bit more for Ochai in both circumstances of, securing that spot and, helping the team make the playoffs going forward.
Yeah, I mean, totally right, totally. So, hopefully he keeps it rolling. I think he likes being here. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know that, but it just seems like from the outside looking in that, I mean, look, he had one of his best years of his career this season.
Yeah.
So, uh, career high in rebounds as well, career high in assists, career high in steals, uh, career high in points. So he had a really good
Yeah.
year, was healthy for the most part, and shot. He had a career high in field goal percentage and a career high in 3-point percentage as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully he likes being here. Again, he's made the necessary strides to be worthy of that next contract. It's just there's a lot of money getting flown around
Mhm.
from the front office here for the Toronto Raptors. So it's just where does he fit in? And the draft lottery is in 6 days as we're recording. We'll see where the Raptors land. But if the Raptors are not going to land in that, well, I guess we'll see, because if they end up going another guard,
Yeah.
it's going to be questionable of where Ochai fits in. I mean, even just adding another guy, even if they get like a bigger forward wing,
Mhm.
like a Cooper or an Ace Bailey, it's tough to see um, a path for Ochai Agbaji just
Mhm.
with the amount of, unless you're saying you like him over all these rookies that they're bringing in. So I guess we'll see. But the roster building for the Raptors going forward, I've said it on every one of these episodes that we've been doing the player recaps, is fascinating. It's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be interesting. And, we're talking about futures here, and Chris Boucher, had one of, he was pooping for this team this year. But
Yeah.
I'll ask you the question: is this the last time we're seeing Boucher in a Raptors uniform going forward?
Ah, unfortunately, I think so. I think so.
Mhm.
Just simply because I don't know where he gets the money or gets the roster spot. Like, it's
Yeah.
just simply they have brought in so much talent that I don't know where he fits in, and they've shelled out money everywhere, and he doesn't fit the timeline. It's just I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it,
Yeah.
but I think it's I think it's over, even though according to reports, I believe it was Michael Grange, that they're open to a reunion. I think both sides are.
Mhm.
I struggle to see where that happens, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think we might have seen the last of Chris Boucher, unfortunately.
Yeah, like I know Boucher probably wants at this point in his career, he probably wants to get paid. You know, he had a really good season when they did play him last like this past season. I don't know, they had that sudden stop in playing him all of a sudden towards the end of the season. They just refused to give him minutes, and I thought that was a little bit strange. But you know, from last season to this season, it was great. You know, covering the games last season, seeing he would check in and there wouldn't be a lot of hustle. It wouldn't be a lot of energy from him on the court. You know, he's taking kind of 4 shots, but then this season is like a complete 180. He came in off the bench, spark plug, hitting threes left and right, running for the loose boards, offensive boards, putting himself in the right positions, you know, help making plays, the pick and roll. It was like a completely different player. And he kind of helped will us into some games. I don't know if it was against the no, it wasn't against the Warriors, but when he was hitting like 3 straight threes and he was just going crazy right off the bench and one of the Raptors' best, if not the best producer off the bench for this team. So for me, at least, I want to see Boucher get his money. Like, I don't know if the Raptors can give it to him. So if he were to leave, I would be a little bit upset, but you know, I'd be happy for him in the long run because you know he's been loyal to this team for so long. He's been putting in the hard work. He's been grinding. He had an incredible showing. Anytime he got the minutes on the floor, he made the most of them. So I think wherever he ends up landing, a lot of teams right now could use someone like his talents, either off the bench or just you know providing a starting center spot right now. But I think he can fit into a lot of other teams. You know, his skill set is great.
Yeah, and teams have been interested, right? They're absolutely close to dealing him for 2 trade deadlines now,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, 10 points, 4.5 rebounds, a stock a game.
Mhm.
He's shot it near 50% from the field for pretty much his whole career. Had a really good shooting year from three, nearly 37% on a career high 3.9 attempts. He does a role. He fits a role. He's a really good bench big. Um, he's not going to be that traditional rim protector, but with his effort, with his play, he offers. You know what he offers. We all know
Mhm.
what he offers. We've watched him for. I don't need
Yeah.
to talk. We've watched him for how many years? Do it in Toronto. It's just yeah. I talked about it with Jakob Pertl last episode
Mhm.
with the player reviews that I would opt out if I was him after this next year and
Yeah.
then cash in for the last payday because I believe Pirtle is 31, 30.
30 32 it says here.
Okay, so again, now Chris Boucher 32 as well. It's kind of the last payday here. So and the
Mhm.
Raptors just don't have the money for it, especially if
Yeah.
they jump up in the lottery. That
Yeah.
even makes the cap crunch even more dire.
Mhm.
So I think somebody's going to get a good player. It sucks that the Raps aren't going to capitalize on his value. At least I think maybe they bring him back and then trade
Yeah.
him, but he would have to take a. I think he would. I think he could get more somewhere else. So I feel like he'd have to take a pay cut to some degree. But
Yeah.
uh, yeah, he had a good year. Obviously, plays with a ton of effort. Obviously, fills a role. It's just where does he fit in going forward in this new era of the Toronto Raptors? I'm
Mhm.
not sure.
Yeah, I would have to agree too. Like, you know, I love how he was playing this season. I love his level of play. Everything he was doing was correct. It's just it comes down to the team and it comes down to, you know, we have a limited amount of roster spots and going forward, I don't know if Boucher can be that, especially, you know, because he is getting up there in his age. We are trying to build a younger core. If we jump up a few spots in the lottery and draft someone like an Ace Bailey or even a Cooper Flag, hopefully, like we just might it just comes down to the point where we might just not need him. It's not the fact that we don't want him, it's just the fact that we don't have spots for him on the team. So that's why I was saying the best ending and out of all this for me at least is either the Raptors get some sort of assets for him or he gets his money elsewhere. I wouldn't be too mad at him. You know, he deserves again a little bit of a payday. He's been grinding his butt off in all these different games and showing out how much he's improved as a player overall and how he can just accept his role coming off the bench, taking what's been given to him and making the most out of his opportunity. Overall, like, you know, if I had to grade his season here, I'd be giving like a B plus. I feel like that's fair. A B plus.
Yeah, I mean, he was playing he was playing too good that they
Mhm.
had to
To
Darko had to
bench him.
take him out. Yeah, and they've honestly have treated him pretty. I feel like they've done that before, where it's just he's gotten a lot of. He's either in the doghouse or he's playing well. And
Yeah,
his minutes and rotation has always been kind of odd to me, but
yeah,
yeah, they completely shut him down again this year, and yeah, it kind of sad that I've said it before, but it's like you don't know you're in the good old days
yeah.
when you're in the good old days. It's like I didn't know Chris Boucher was going to play his last game as a Raptor when he did.
Mm.
Um, I mean, he still could come back. I guess we're talking like he's gone. It's just all the writing seems like it's on the
Yeah,
wall for Chris Boucher to move on, and honestly, it might just be a mutual parting because yeah, he can go get his money. He
hmm
can go play. I mean, look what all these other former Raptors are doing: OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam,
hmm
uh, Fred Van Vliet, all doing their thing. Well, I guess Fred Van Vliet is um, now eliminated, but uh, yeah, they. I would love to see him go compete for a championship like all these other guys are
yeah.
because he's one of the hardest workers and he's been nothing but a professional
hmm
in Toronto when he's kind of got rugged around, especially this year. So, would love to see him go compete. Yeah, Chris Boucher.
And he's the last remaining member of that championship team, I believe, right?
I believe so. Yeah,
That's crazy to see. It's just the final domino has fallen from that team, man.
it
And
could be. Yeah,
it hurts. But like you said, Van Vliet got eliminated. We're jumping to the playoffs talk. We've seen some quite interesting series. People got eliminated. We've seen some upsets yesterday. Both of the underdogs won. Knicks stole a game. So did the Nuggets, actually. The Nuggets, that was quite an interesting finish. I don't know if you got to
yeah.
see it. I don't know if you got to see it, but what do
I
you think
did.
about that
Yeah,
one?
I wasn't able to watch it. I have since gone back and watched towards the end.
Mhm.
The fouling up three with Jokic on the bench is obviously a certain choice.
Yeah.
And then Aaron Gordon coming up clutch, Denver taking the 1-0 series lead against the OKC Thunder. They were the Knicks and the Nuggets were heavily disrespected on
Yeah.
the odds. I know we don't do too much betting talk on here, but I believe the Celtics were like minus 800
Yeah.
favorites against the Knicks, and then the Thunder were right around that range as well.
Mhm.
Kind of ridiculous at this point in the season to say this for a series in round two. That's kind of disrespectful to me. Like I saw that the Nuggets plus 2.5 on the series, so to lose to basically force 6 games at
Mhm.
least, and you lose was still plus money. So kind of shocking how favored the Thunder were, but the Thunder played well outside of the mismanagement at the end, but the Nuggets get it done. Jokic with a heck of a game.
Crazy stat line. I think it was like 41 points, 22 rebounds around there. Oh, bro, I don't know why they started fouling when they're up three. Like I get why, but they should have waited a little bit more, burnt out a little bit more of the clock before we started taking that. And then, Chet missing two of the free throws and Aaron Gordon, I don't know, or just became the clutchest player in the playoffs this season. Bro, bro, no fear hitting that three, man. But if that would have been a crazy parlay, if you bet on both of the underdogs, I don't know how much money that would have made. But even with the Knicks too, they came back down 20. I don't know if it was what was interesting as I saw. I think the Celtics missed the most threes in regulation and playoff history. It was 48 missed threes, and for some reason, Jason Tatum forgot that he could score layups and went for three straight step back threes over and over and over again. So I think it was safe to say the Celtics shot themselves out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, and OG Anunoby shot the Knicks into the game.
Yeah.
6 of 11 from three himself, 29 points, 4 rebounds. A really good OG Anunoby game as well. Yeah, the Celtics. This is the most concerning I think you could feel about them all
Mhm.
in like 2 years in the playoffs. Like last year, I'm trying to remember. I don't think I felt like really like concerned
Yeah.
about them at all. I felt like they had a pretty easy walk there, but now that they're going down 0-1, we'll see. They've Drew Holiday's back now. So I guess I don't know how healthy he is. Same with Kristaps Porzingis, only played 13 minutes. I must have missed that. I'm not
I
sure
think
what.
he got sick. Something they said he wasn't
Okay,
returning to the game. It was an illness, and he wasn't returning to the game.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I must have missed that one. Yeah, wild that they were minus 800 and now they're down 1-0.
Yeah.
Pretty ridiculous. And yeah, every road team winning in
Yeah.
game one so far, which is, what do you make of that?
It's like when you're in the playoffs, you're a road team and you're facing again a higher seed. That's kind of your job. You got to get one, at least one, to start off with on the road. I feel like I was gonna say too. I feel like for the Knicks, this was kind of a must win for them because again, if you lose that first one, it gets the ball rolling. The momentum kind of slows down a bit. But now you could beat them. Now you can shut them down. You stole one from their home. That's all you need to do. Win the next two at home and then go from there. Even with the Nuggets too, as well. You're facing probably the best defense in the NBA. You stole a game from them. That's a morale killer. So overall, I feel like if you're away, if you're the visiting team, this is something you got to do, especially up against like the Titans of these two teams they're facing.
Yeah, 100%. And there's no concern in a playoff series until you lose at home.
Yeah.
Once you lose at home, then the urgency should already be all the way up, but then it really gets turned up. And with all these with the Celtics, the Cavaliers, who we'll get to right now, and the Thunder, there is some concern. But Cleveland as well, dropping
Crazy.
game one two days ago. Pacers continuing to play their game, be composed, and Andrew Nemhard might have saved basketball.
Yeah. Overall, yeah. Like I love to see. I feel like a lot of people, except Zolfi, apparently, were counting out the Pacers this playoffs. They thought they're immediately going to get swept. They're going to get wet. I even had the Bucks beating them in like 6 or 7. As much as I love Halliburton, I just thought the Pacers, they didn't have enough to get over the hump. But apparently, I was wrong. They made the conference finals last year, correct? They made the conference finals, and a lot of people thought that was a fluke, but I feel like they're proving it's not. They're playing their game. Halliburton, he doesn't force any of the shots. He lets the game come to him, takes the threes when he has to, makes the right play. The whole team is just playing in unison. My boy Spicy P going crazy. You love to see the former Raptors thriving out here, man. All the Raptors except Van Vliet apparently, but he did his best. He did all he could. But overall, the Pacers, I feel like they have a good shot at winning the series, honestly. After seeing that first game, I feel like they could beat them maybe in like 6 or 7.
Yeah, Halliburton was big time.
Yeah.
Helping a 15-4 run to end it there for Indiana. He's I don't know if people are taking back. He must have took that overrated.
I went crazy.
He must have actually, like, that must have ignited something in him, and he's been doing his thing, man. I've been impressed. I really have, because I thought they'd be too small for Cleveland, and they're proving that they're just getting up and down the floor better than them. So yeah, Pascal Siakam, let's see how far he can do it. They're going tonight for game 2. I guess this episode will come out after game 2, but I guess we'll see what happens with that one, because Indiana, like, they again were big underdogs as well, and they clutched up a win against one of this Cavaliers team who they've had their playoff faults before. It was going to be interesting to see what they look like this postseason, because Mobley's now taking a jump, but the Allen Mobley thing in the playoffs has always been kind of clunky.
Yeah.
And then the small backcourt of Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, obviously both two talented players, but defensively there's a couple things there as well. So, but sorry. And with DeAndre Hunter now potentially missing some games with that dislocated thumb, I believe.
Yeah.
That takes away the wing depth that they've solely have missed throughout these past postseasons. And now who knows how long he's going to be out for. So there's some concern in Cleveland. And then again, you lose a game at home. It's kind of scary for them.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see, if the Cavs do lose this series, how they kind of progress from here, if they're kind of if they're going to trade anybody, if they're going to make any sort of assets, because I feel like this is their best shot. They started off the season incredibly hot, going undefeated for can't remember how many games it was, and then they're like, I don't know, I want to say the Celtics, but everyone's saying the Celtics are kind of the real best team in the East here. Cleveland's got to prove it here, so I feel like this is going to be Cleveland's biggest test besides the Celtics. They kind of got to prove how good they are as a team. Like, yeah, you swept the 8 seed. That's what you were supposed to do. Now, when your back is up against the wall, can you come out and perform up against, like a higher tempo offense like the Pacers? Or if they get past this, can they perform against the reigning champs like the Celtics? We got to see this. But then if we throw it back over to the West, Timberwolves and Warriors as, the final thing here. Rudy Gobert remembered how to play basketball against the Celtics or against the Lakers. He remembered he's like a foot taller than everybody and just turned into Wilt Chamberlain. I was looking at that game on my knees screaming, somebody please stop this guy from grabbing offensive rebounds. But this series should be interesting against the Warriors. I know the Warriors are more of a small team, so I don't know if the history is going to repeat itself and Gobert is going to continue down this, I'm bigger than everybody else, I can actually play ball, or if Draymond's going to stop him, or if Ant's going to continue killing the legends as he's been doing, Durant and LeBron.
You know what? I would that would be a cool little story there. You got me hooked. I mean, I already thought Minnesota was going to win a 6-7 seed in the second round, which is
interesting,
kind of funny, but there's lots of storylines here. Obviously you have Rudy Gobert and Draymond Green. Let's see how that goes again. Jimmy Butler, when he was talking about his career, skipped over the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah.
And obviously there's lots of things there when he was in Minnesota about, I don't know if you remember, I think it was him and like and they whooped the starters or whatever without him. So there's all that with him in Minnesota. And then I don't know if you saw Anthony Edwards was talking about his pre-draft workout with the Warriors and Steve Kerr about how told him that's all you got about his how hard he was working. So let's see how hard he can work now, but
it's gonna be crazy. It's definitely
gonna be fun. It's gonna be Edwards versus Curry, just shot making all over the place. It's gonna be fun to watch.
What I noticed too about the Warriors, like Jimmy, he's been less aggressive than he usually is when it comes to playoff Jimmy or whatever. When he was on the Heat, I've noticed he's been deferring a lot of shots. He's not as aggressive. I don't know if it's the whole, he knows this is Steph's team, so he's letting Steph do his thing and he's deferring a lot too. But even when I was watching, the series against the Rockets, Jimmy was pushing the pace in transition. He had a wide open pull up three. And if he was on the Heat, I've seen him take that shot so many times, but he passed it up and, gave it to Curry that was trailing a little bit. And I was like, that's interesting. I don't know if Jimmy's feeling that sense of, I have to defer here because this isn't my team anymore, or if he just realized he's getting a little bit older and he can't do what he's used to be doing.
Probably a little bit of both. And Draymond Green's also been really good too. Yeah. So it's more than just Curry. He's fit in. He's playing in the system and he's giving a lot defensively and he's playing well defensively. So maybe that's part of it as well. So they've been good. Let's see if they can keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Minnesota's been really good as well. Naz Reid had a really good first series as well, I thought. Yeah. So it's going to be fun. It's a fun one. I don't know if I necessarily expected it with the 6 and 7 seeds matching up. I thought I called the Warriors to upset what I thought the Lakers would get through Minnesota.
Yeah.
So it should be a fun one, though. Should be a fun one.
No, yeah, I'm actually really excited for this playoffs. Every series has been kind of fun to watch. A lot of upsets. Hopefully, I like watching upsets happen because you never know what can happen. That means new NBA champions, new teams. So hopefully the action continues, and we'll be back next week to talk more about it. I feel like that wraps up this episode of Run It Back. Next week, Monday, I believe we are doing something special for the draft lottery. I think it was a live stream that S said, I believe. So,
you're dropping the details. Okay, we gotta keep her. Let's keep it. There's something special for the draft lottery coming to Red Republic.
Yes, sir. We don't know what exactly yet. I'm still up in the air, but we will be seeing what we can do for that. Hopefully, here's hoping we get a high pick this year and the Raptors get blessed. So we'll be back, next week with, again, draft lottery reactions, the CBL season preview. Hopefully, Zophie stops getting slapped up at Sportsnet and we can all join together. But it's been great. We will see you guys next week as we run it back.